Press pound when finished.
Okay, we are recording our broadcast again here on the phone tree. We do this as a courtesy, but really it's not a substitute for your coming. You know that by now. You know that by now. So here's our broadcast.
That's when she came back and started to spell the death with the global center. Her whole love was to have her children there. And she didn't. So just to get along, have enough to eat. She was careful, very careful. And there was a sister, Carl.
Okay, we've been showing our virtual virtuous hat crown halo home and gathering place for women and youth, females and males of our family traditions. And now we're going to do our ceremony as we always do. And we have emails in the works for you coming. They're yet in preparation. Some very additional aspects given to that page for media women and their nieces. And we've got our family and Anne Marie and Mount Patricia's and Oprah's family to begin, Oprah and Patricia family to begin with. But we're also inviting some other famous families that you can imagine, some of whom are on our tree, some who are others' trees, but they're all interconnected trees of the same great tree of love and life in the light of balance. So let's say the light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both and each and every one as soon as possible. And we'll say it again. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers in water. Hugs and love to all, both and each and every one as soon as possible. And we'll say Namaste, Mitakuye Oyaisin, Mitakuye Koseviral. Kongs on Pox, Ko, Am, or Pax culture, peace culture. Bahava L'chaim Shalom Salam, Salam Shalom. Mir Pache, Pache Mir. Merci, Ubuntu, Buenos Dias, Shlanzavag, Ciao, Shlanzavag, Chinque, Chop Chop, Sayonara, Das Vidanya. I think I said Namaste. I hope I said Namaste right at the very beginning. The divine within me greets the divine within you. And cheerio and good day. Good day, Trio, and if I've missed any languages, Tibet Sedleric Tibet. Let's put that up a little bit further in the beginning, because that's an important heritage for our family's branches. Okay, and but if I've forgotten any and you want to include any, you include them, and we'll say, let's love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper all, both in each and everyone, as Equinox True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Siveras, Solar, Co-Secretary Generals of Ellleusian Mystery Gardens revealed, Gardens of Eden, past, present, future, as Equinox True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Siveras. And we'll say again, let's love and live eternally young, longest, paradisal parity, past, present, future, as Equinox True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Siveras. Solar, Co-Secretary Generals of Equinox in all seasons, Co-Siveras. Equinox True Qs. And we'll drink the milk. This is so very important, and we're making a big emphasis on what we're writing to the family of the very well-known family of the Oprah Winfrey's family, but she's got more people, obviously, and we're writing to many of them. Okay, and we are also showing the milk of human kindness, especially emphasizing la leche in French, the milk of human kindness for all our holy baby girls and all holy baby boys, all our holy baby girls and all our holy baby boys, past, present, future, of my family, your family, our family. It's all one family. And the milk of human kindness throughout our lives, understanding that all people are related, and we do have obligations to show interest and kindness, courtesy, and give and take with our kin, all of our kin. And particularly since we have been living under patriarchy, and the most lacking in give and take are older men, because patriarchy prefers older men over women and younger people, and particularly older men have been a majority or perceived majority race in a given area of the world. We are wanting to especially emphasize the milk of human kindness for women, for all youths and children, females and males, and for minorities anywhere in the world. And we don't want to be unkind to majority men. We want to be kinder to them and give them eternal life too. So, but patriarchy prevents that. So we're giving everyone priority, past, present, and future. I drink the milk of human kindness for all, both, and each and every one, representing all, both, and each and every one as soon as possible, as Equinox Truq's Co-Secretary General, Co-Sifiraj. And we discovered that people in the Leche League and some other people have been trying to get onto Oprah, so we have quite a bit to work with here. Purim and Passover liquids. Purim, we have members of our family community by the name of Esther and Hadassah in their connections and what they're doing. We have also a number of women by the name of Mariam or Marian or similar names, Marie. We believe that Esther's mother's name was likely Mariam. We don't know that for sure, but that would be the most likely. And her daughter's name was Ramasha, similar to Rachel. The Ra that's in my name. So we are remembering them and giving them all intergenerational 50-50, past, present, future, and those of our own great and grandmothers and current women and our young women, and as well as our males, our young males too. And we also, including the liquid, so we have the fruit juices that remind us of Esther. Why? Because the ester, the fruit ester, is in our fruit juices, and it's an ester, and that's also called the fruit. And of course, we have it in our bodies as females, and another version of that. And it's very holy, and its root word means of the stars, which is what Esther means, and Hadass means a star-shaped flower. We also have our Passover of fermented wine. We want to equally involve both females and males, as that Da Vinci Code reminds us that the Last Supper likely did include Mary of Magdala, but the rest of the females were missing, and this time we want to bring them in with the young men, okay? And that's the best Passover, and that's the first, not Last Supper, but first breakfast. We're breaking the fast that patriarchy causes and giving ourselves the abundance that egalitarian culture brings. And so we're putting these holy days together, the promise of 50-50 and the promise of a promised land and the promise of eternal life, and going back to the Eleusian mysteries and eternal life without death, apotheosis, females and males, both. And we'll put this together and we'll drink the Soma. We remember the Soma of Vedic India and the Entheans of the Eleusian mysteries. We're putting this all together, these egalitarian influences and times, and we drink on behalf of all, both, and each and every one, representing all, both, and each and every one, as Equinox Truq's Solar Co-Secretary General, Co-Sifiraj, Equinox Truq's past, present, future. I drink on behalf of all, both, and each and every one, and representing all, both, and each and every one, now and as soon as possible. And we have also our water of loving, living planets that we will reclaim this beleaguered planet to be, and reclaim and sustain this and all our planets as Equinox Truq's Co-Secretary General, Co-Sifiraj. I drink on behalf of all, both, and each and everyone, representing all, both, and each and everyone, now and as soon as possible. And we have our cakes. And let me say something about solar. Photosynthesis is what gives us our food. photosynthesis is also to some extent important for our bodily balance. If you're not out in the sun enough, you can develop a deficiency disease that often affects vitamin D. But we can have too much sun when we have depleted our ozone layer and we have greenhouse effects and causing us to heat up instead of to become spring-like. We're becoming too summer-like. Like what happened to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia started out as a very verdant area. Now it is a desert. Okay, so I'm not going to take that into that call. We'll find out what it is a little bit later. And we're going to just say, so what we want to do is understand that we are star stuff. We are the light of the stars. All the elements of our bodies are in the stars. And it's a spiritual aspect, too, of the universe. It's all connected. Everything is connected, and you are connected to everyone, and in fact, all related as family members of the same human family that has migrated at different places at different times all around this earth. The people who have been lost because of patriarchy are in the Akashic record. Their memories and souls are there. The universe has eternal memory for people. People are very important. So by becoming risen via the new millennial golden rule and gathering in our circles to share it, we access the power that's both light in the material sense and creates matter, and also in the spiritual sense. And that enables us to open the stargates. That's when the physics falls in line with the anthropology. The balance of the anthropology brings forth the balance inside of the physics, and that's when we're opening the stargates. And also having eternal life as every young people, every young adult. So let's say this now. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days, past, present, future, as Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sephiroths. And starting with our Shekinahs and all our young Shekinahs, the Shekinahs, around age 37 and younger, past, present, future, to begin with, as our first Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sephiroths, to carry this good word to everyone, these good words to everyone, and to deliver the humanity. And we'll do it this way. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days, past, present, future, as Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sephiroths. And again, we start with our equinox of spring and autumnal times, birthdays and conception days. But we also are including in that initial circle now the solar of these months, and we're overlapping them because we're a little bit late for our spring celebrations. And we have been actually off kilter now since the year 2000 on our conventional calendar. So we're getting into a very dicey mode on the planet, and we have to rebalance it quickly. But I have reserved my birthday, which is in September, as also another day of giving you a chance to turn back time. But we would like to do it this month. And so, or at the very beginning of next month, the interface of July and August, which is like the interface of August and of April and May, but we are also including March because we are Marian, and the Mar is flowing through the Marian aspect, which means flows through all time, and is marvelous and miraculous, and therefore has no time limits. Okay, and so we'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days as Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sephiroths, past, present, future, and now and always. Okay. And we have our Purim cookie. I'm going to see who that. Well, I'm not going to try to see who it was because that would interrupt my taping, and I don't want that to happen. So we'll just have to wait on that and hope it was someone who can wait. Let's pray. And most likely it was a telemarketer call. I get a lot of those. They're very informative about our culture. And we have with us our Purim cookie and our Passover wafer. Our purim cookie is round, not the traditional triangular hamantaschen. It is round to represent the women of that time getting together in a circle, the mothers, the daughters, the sisters, the sister kazinas, and declaring all of them not slaves, but equal, like the women of Atlantis were. And then we also have our Passover wafer. Why is it flat? Because the people were rushing away from tyranny. Isn't that the nature of patriarchy? It always creates tyranny, and then people rush away from it. And then they're not smart enough to know what caused it, so they recreate the same problem, and people rush away from them again. We are going to become risen, so we don't do silly things like that. And instead, we become the people who are represented by these breads, the risen round for the female, the risen oval for the male. The males are a little bit more gentle and more accessing of their X chromosome aspects. Their male hormones like vasopressin and oxytocin have much in common, and they are based on estrogen too. Testosterone itself is based on estrogen. And we all start out with either one or, well, women have 2 X chromosomes, men have 1. There is no such thing as a YY chromosome for a person. We don't have that. So there's a reason to emphasize the eternal feminine for both genders now, because we've been, in this culture particularly, obsessed with technology and not paying any attention to anthropology, sociology, psychology, and all the developmental aspects that we need to pay attention to. So let's become risen. And let's put some milk into this recipe, lots of milk. And we also say that some of the breads of our world, of course, are not based on wheat. Here's rice, here's oats. We thank Mother Goddess God, Mother Nature, the mother aspect of Goddess God, for all of the food stuffs and many edibles, and we don't want to adulterate them, we want to steward them and co-steward them. And enjoy permaculture. And we also have the eggs of egalitarian culture. We have the eggs of egalitarian culture. And here they are. And now I'm invoking the circle, just me by myself. I do that every day. You hear me do it. The circle exists as long as I exist to invoke it. If nobody else is helping me, I keep that circle afloat, you know, kind of like twirling a plate in the air. I'm keeping you in the air, keeping you afloat as a circle. However, you've been sinking fast because you're not doing anything. Anne Marie and when we and I get together, we have invoked the circle, asked you to come to the circles. We also are keeping the circle when we gather in 2. The best thing is to have 3 women. That creates a circle. It doesn't rely on the presence of the mother aspect of the universe alone to create the circle. It actually embodies it in people. And that's why it's important. And the Celts, of course, had that magic phrase, the power of 3. They were smart. They were egalitarian. They didn't have wars before they became so-called Christian. And it wasn't truly Christian, but they called themselves Christian because they were conquered. They were conquered in the name of Christ, but it really wasn't Christ. It wasn't Christian at all, what occurred to the Druids. And that's been a problem all around the world, and a lot of hypocrisy with regard to the anointed aspect, which is what Christ means in Greek. It means to be anointed. So all people have the Christ within, females and males, equally. That's what we have to understand, and that's what we've been missing for a couple thousand years of nonsense. Okay, and so we have our 3 eggs, and we'll bring forth 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 to 11 women, and anoint all of us as co-secretary generals, co-secretaries, equinox recused, living past, present, future goddesses, goddess aspects of the yin and yang balance, particularly tipped toward yin, toward the female in us, and the divine feminine. And then we also then bring forth, and so once we have anointed each other as goddesses, equinox recused, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries, we bring forth 2 young women and 2 young men and anoint them equally for egalitarian culture. And that is the beginning of egalitarian culture more stably, and starts a new generation off right. Okay, instead of giving them all kinds, burdening them with an impossible situation, which is what patriarchy is right now. It's planeticidal patriarchy. So we have to give our children and youth an egalitarian culture, or we're cheating them in a terrible way, and we're also cheating ourselves because we need it too. Okay, so we'll do this, and we also just remind you that means that when two women get together, they show more mutuality and respect for one another. That when two females and when a male and a female and a male get together, they show more mutuality, give and take, and respect. And that's an important subset of the sister cousina, cousin brotherhood relationship has to take place in egalitarian marriage. Very important for binding families together, and also for raising young children and the generationality aspect. But it takes a village. It takes more than just two people to raise children. And we also have the egalitarian males, two men who understand that the status of money, power, so-called power, it isn't real power, money, nationality, ethnicity, race, birth order, whatever the hierarchy du jour is, title, is not what is important among men. Men need give and take also. They need to learn to listen to one another. They need to access their estrogen aspects a little bit better so that they don't have a dominator-subjugated relationship, an exploiter-exploitee relationship, and they don't have to go into crime and war against each other in order to try to deal with that problem, which is coming out of patriarchy. And of course, we have the one egg to indicate that each person has the yin and yang within them, and that they understand the nature of the divine feminine, divine masculine to some extent, and they need to spread that understanding with the new millennial golden rule, past, present, future, as equinox to Thisz, co-secretary general, okay, and we say the light is on in all our hearts because it is always on, even if it's very dim. I've been getting a lot of messages on my computer that are showing Oreo cookies. Oreo cookies are very dark on the outside, but inside they're very light. And what that means is we have a culture that's rewarding our dark. It's rewarding us for being stupid and dark. It's not rewarding our inner sensitivity, our empathy, and our innocence and idealism. When we reward that, we become we become better people. We become risen. Okay, and that's important. So we have to get beyond our Oreo phase. Although Oreo is a lovely word, it says a circle and an R-E, that's a ray for light, and an O, another circle. So we are Oreos when we gather our circles together with light, and then we transform that darkness that's around us into light, and we become risen. Okay, and now we'll do our consciousness currencies. These are our Adelian, Morellian, Wienerian, Adelian, Morellian, Margilian, Silver Golden Kindian, Zalkindian, Feldmarian, and also adding to that circle, Hertzian, Herzogian, Sweet, Sagan, Goldenberg, and of course the answer is Slatian, but that includes all the Native American names, which are many, like singing crickets and sunflowers and all those branches, including also Lee and Winfrey. To begin with, we're also including all of humanity in the same model, the same arrangement of honoring the great and grandmothers and their sister cousins first. Okay, so we'll do that first. They're represented in the upper consciousness currency. In the middle consciousness currencies has our current adult women around age 37, around 38, and a little bit older. But that's a ballpark figure. It doesn't have to be perfect. In other words, middle-aged women and older. Okay, and then our this currency shows both our young people and our women gathering together in assisting one another to really reinforce and reward the reparation to women and an egalitarian culture for young people, females and males, our young Shekinas and young Hikinas. All of these have denominations of trillions and zillions, and each person is worth that, and when you get together, the power is astronomical, but it's what we need now to counteract the force of the juggernaut of too long practiced patriarchy. So let's share these around. I share them around all my neighborhood. Lots of my neighbors have these already. You can make them, print them off of the website, print your own ones, and share them. You're worth it. You're worth it. But you don't realize you're worth it, and that's why you're cheapening yourself. You're turning yourselves into slaves, and you're making yourself sick, because you're not recognizing the importance of egalitarian culture. So let's do it, and repairing the female in order to have that. So let's do that, and we'll make our kisses. And now we show our larger family tree with all of your bigger pictures. And you know that you're all so precious to me and to Mother, Father, Goddess, God. But Mother, Father, Goddess, God may decide that you are unwilling to recognize the preciousness of each other and all people. And if that's the case, then Goddess God will conclude that you understood nothing in this incarnation. And Goddess God will transform you out of this incarnation and start you over somewhere else. You will essentially die. What we call death, but it's really not death. It's a phase that the soul goes through when it's not getting the picture right. And so we have all of our great and grandmothers. We thank Sarah Harriet and Ray and Sarah Harriet for giving us the model of gathering women and neighborhood, family, youth, and children together, and to discuss their world and their families in the same breath without thinking that one thing has nothing to do with the other. And we include all of the various women of the various branches of past generations, like Libertea and Australia, and Hannah, and Elizabeth and Ruth, and Rose, and Myrtle, Marie, and Pearl, very much, especially including Precious Antoinette, and Ruth and Rose, Grandma Marie, Grandma Papa, Grandma Dorothy, and Lynn and Rachel, including also Vernita and Hattie Mae, and many, many more. We're going to include Rose and Ethel and others of the Ethel and Rose of the Broadcasztz Kennedy clan. We've got others that we're including on different clans, but we start with our family, which is very famous already. But you who are lesser known are actually more central to the drama right now of what we need to do as this planet. So we also have our current women. We have Marion, we have Victoria, and Marion, Victoria, Julia Marie, and I, and Susan, and Bacha, and Helene, and Sherry, and Laura, and Sarah, and Jodine. And we include, before I even get to them, I should have said Rachel and Alexandra and Rachel and Juliana and Francesca. We include Marcia. We include Marcia. We include Denise. We include Carrie and Mary, and we include obviously Anna Maria and Ma Patricia, with Laura, Sophie, Martha, and Pauline, and we include Alicia and Krishnandra, along with Patricia and Oprah, and we include, we got other people of other traditions. We've got lots of people on the Broadcasztz Kennedy brand. We include Kathleen and many, many more, okay, and Maria, with lots more there. And we also include Donna and Diana, and many, many, many more of our family. Those who are most identified as Republicans mean that they have a high level of internalized patriarchy and don't realize the problems that that causes very clearly. They haven't been given enough information for them to understand what that does to the society. And they're very dangerous. We've got a lot of very dangerous people in North America right now. North America is endangered, endangering itself, and endangering the entire world. We also have our younger people, very important. We start with the young women: Hadas, Rachel Marie, Daniel Juliette, Stacy Anastasia, Soma. Oh, did I neglected to mention Meredith and the upper generations? Very important. Meredith, you're very important. We don't hear enough from you. And we know that you've been pressured along gender lines, and we want to hear from you. And we include, so of the younger generations, we have Hadas and Rachel Marie, Danielle Juliette, and Vanessa, Stacy Anastasia, and Vanessa, and Soma, and Lynn, Raquel, Julia, or Julia, Raquel, and Sharon. And we include Hesperus and Athena. We include Elisa and Hillel. We include Natalie and Elisa and Natalie. We include Rebecca and Sandra, Sandra and Rebecca, and we include, of course, April and Angeline, Edith and Rosa, and we include Aquarius, and we include, let's see if I'm remembering, and we include Abby and Sarah, and we get to our young men, who are equally important as the women. The only reason we make our young men wait is because they have to understand that women have waited since 1650 BC, and even longer than that in some parts of the world. So that's a long wait for equality, would you say? That's kind of a long wait. So the men have to wait, younger men, a little bit. They should enjoy waiting and feel real happy about doing so. And that includes Yishai and Harlan Saviz and Ross and Itani and Eric and Jared and Marcel and many, many more. And so we include all of you, and let's give you all kisses. And of course, me too. And I neglected to mention Georgine with and some of the neighbors here, May and Judy, Louise and Elizabeth, and Georgine with Naomi, remembering Malka and Shirley, and with many other Juliannes and Rochelle's on that branch, and lots of we also include Anne Marie with Anne Maria with her sister Julianne. We don't know about the younger people on that tree. There are younger people on that tree. They're important, and they're of our Spanish and Hispanic connections, very important. So let's all give you all kisses. And I neglected to mention Lee and Shuan. We remember their families, equally important, and lots more. There's various Asian heritages, and of course our Somic India. We have lots of that heritage coming into our family tree too. So we give you all the kisses. Okay, and now we have my branches of family, and it's Marion and Barbara and Susan were here. They would be showing their current sisters, cousines, and next generations of their closest family. They're a more nuclearized branch, but nuclear is connected to the SZPECIALL family, and that's why we make sure we also show the 5 fingers of Vanessa's family, Victoria, Mariama, and the other women, the Lynn and Raquel, Julia, Raquel, and Sharon, as well as Julia, Marie, and I, and that implies, of course, all of our great-grandmothers, all of the ones that you heard mentioned, and already, and our young man here is Harlan Saviz, but we do not want to isolate him from his other sister cousins and younger brothers. So I'm showing this as a nuclear branch, but the whole point is you should be bringing your nuclear branches here so that we can make a circle of them. And so let's do our kisses. And let me say that Julie and Marie and Harlan Saviz fell under profound patriarchal influences, and so has Georgine. They are kind of encumbered by some patriarchal family near them, and the nexus of women's gathering failed in the heartland, which is part of the reason why I'm working so overtime to get it back to you. We need to recreate that lace, gather the women together, and gather then the youths, females and males, with us. And that's very important to this branch. And it's very important to the entire family tree. And there are some young women as well as young men on all of these branches whose health has already been affected, whose mental health has been affected, who are moving toward both bodily illness and authoritarian personality disorder. And that is because the women are not gathering, their older mothers are not gathering. And as a result, the world picture for them is narrowing instead of expanding, as Equinox Turquoise Co-Secretary General Coach until you break the pattern and connect with me, as I've given you in good counseling. Counsel all the women, start connecting with me. All the young people, if your mothers won't do it right away, start with some other woman in your community and then let your mothers know. So here's the big tree again. And we also include the older men who are also waiting to come through the stargates through this process. We include they're a little bit more innocent right now than the men who are older men among us. Those men will come in last, but they will come in. And we want to give them 50-50, but we need to let them know that they've been on the wrong track of hegemonous stupidity, as what George Carlin calls stupidity. They take advantage of their female and their younger generations, and often minorities, wherever they are at, without recognizing that they're doing that. And it distorts the entire society and pitches it toward self and other annihilation. We can't afford that anymore. We're on patriarchal planetocide watch. Okay? That's what's occurring. We need to make this shift very quickly. So did I give all the kisses again? I think I did. Let me do that one more time just to make sure I did it with a larger tree in it, including everyone. So we can open up the stargates and give everyone eternal life. Okay, and then we also, as always, show our clear bowl. The bowl is round. It's a round bowl. And you understand that roundness and spheres need to be in our thinking about our universe and the way we relate to one another, make circles. We have our fruit, we say we'll pick Parity Paradisze, our fruits and vegetables, and we also have chocolate in here, gold, white wrapped in gold chocolate and world globes made of chocolate. And we'll say we'll pick Parity Paradisze for this and all our planets, past, present, future, and we'll say we've had enough of patriarchal planetocide. We have enough of patriarchy and all its genocides and all its harms to the functioning people and the stresses that it puts on them. We're going to pick parity, egalitarian culture, past, present, future, as solar, equinox, true Qs, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries. Equinox, true Qs, solar, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries. Okay, and that means remembering that our gardens are also solar power. It's what it is. So, and everything that we are is based on star system. So we'll enjoy this, and then we're going to say, as we always say, here we are. Here's our marvelous miraculous heartlight with our budding blooming flowers, with their marvelous miraculous heartlight with the pictures, and we'll say, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth on Earth's past, present, future, as equinox, true Qs, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries. And we'll say, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and Earth's past, present, future, as equinox, true Qs, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries. And you know, it's so important that I'm going to hold up this glass of milk. That's what we're really lacking in the United States culture. So let's hold that up too, okay, as part of our what we're doing at this point. And now, as I always do, I'm going to invite you to come onto the teleconference line as soon as you are able at 641-715-358 access code 773342. The circle is what I say for 0 or O, but it's a circle. I want you to think of it as a circle, and because then you'll be thinking like a true Q. And of course, when there's currently a message on that line from a teleconference I did with Anna Marie a few days ago. You heard it, and that's on the recording line. It's 641-715-3589, access code again 773342. But this line, this phone tree line, is also valuable because it's kind of like a totem pole. It's a place where you can come to and get the spirits of people who are present and past and future together. And however, it's not the same as coming to the conference line, and we do think that's more important, and so we want to emphasize that. So I hope that I will have these emails to you within a matter of a day or 2 or 3. I want to bring the bridge between July and August into the fruition of your coming in as Equinox Qs, co-hostessing and co-hosting these broadcasts. Our women as co-hostesses, our young women as co-hostesses, and our young men as co-hosts. Because you have the new millennial golden rule, you have the 11 steps, and you have the kitties time travel kits to help your neighborhood and your community and your extended family all over the world do a very simple transition. But if you continue to practice the avoidance of one another, continue to pretend that what you're hearing on the news makes any sense, you're really mind programmed. I have to say, my family now, in my opinion, is functioning like the people of the hero and the family of Manchurian Candidate. That you have been so badly mind programmed that you can't tell what real is. And you're all mixed up, and you have female figures that are leading you astray because they are actually supporting patriarchy behind a veneer of tokenism or traditionalism, whatever veneer they're using. They're supporting patriarchy, and patriarchy in this generation means planetocide in these generations. So wake up. You have the answers. You are the Emmanuels. You are the Co-Secretary General's Co-Secretaries, Equinox Qs. Wake up and let's have you come. And you need not wait on me for my emails to start coming. Although I keep saying something's coming and it's important for me to give it to you, actually I'm overemphasizing that. I don't want to overemphasize that. You've been given enough. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Just because I have more creative abilities to give you doesn't mean that you should have to wait on them to do constructive things yourselves. So I'm going to send this message, and we look forward to your coming.
You think that you are ready to say, to change extension type, press 1. To This is your return call service. The number of your last incoming call was 562-266-9092. 562-266-9092. The call was received July 29th at 10:13 a.m. To activate your call,